Yes, and welcome to today's broadcast of In the Tank Live with Aaron Hairston and Keith Deyo. It's another Monday. We love Mondays. That's when people come out of their shell, come out of their caves, they get back to work. And what we love about Mondays is that everyone's got to make a decision whether or not this is the beginning or this is the end. And what I mean by that is, if you're not looking forward to doing what you're doing, like we spoke about on Friday, if this isn't what lights you up or if this isn't going to get you closer to where you're looking to go, well then it's time to make a decision. And that decision is this the beginning of something new or is this the end of something that I don't like? And this is going to be the last day I approach this situation like that. So as we're waiting for Aaron to come on and some of the viewers to check in like they do every day, every weekday at noon Eastern Standard Time here on In the Tank Live, we will also set this thing up. Let's frame this segment because Breakthrough University is what came to me this morning. One of my mentors, Tony Robbins, came across this found statement and way to look at things when you're looking to have a breakthrough in your life. And so Aaron and I are going to elaborate on that a little bit, show you where the traps are, show you so identifying the traps, identifying solutions, and ultimately coming through this entire week with a major shift in one or more areas in your life. And that's the best part. Check here every day and you'll have that breakthrough in one or more areas. Where you at, Aaron?
Man.
You rocking at the Y?
I am. Oh yeah, I'm chilling at the Y, man. Just finished up the half of my chest. We got in there late, so I'm gonna crush the other half after this.
Yo, let me see. Where you at? What are you working with today? Uh-oh. Got the tank top.
Tank top. You know, it's fresh out here, man. It's beautiful out here.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, I got a great story for you, man.
Yes, bring it.
Story for you. Yeah, so you know, I figured out a way to monetize playing Pokemon Go.
Leverage it.
It's just amazing because, again, I love playing it. My son loves playing it. It's a great bonding experience for me and my son. But you know, there's a lot of people out there that don't want to go to work. If they want to play Pokemon Go and they got to go to work, there's a problem. Or they're gonna get fired. So I have a way for people to play Pokemon Go and not have to worry about being somewhere because they can work where they're catching Pokemon. So it's a really fun job. So, we're gonna change the game. Drop the mic. Done deal. So we're talking about a breakthrough. I had one today. It was amazing. So what's going on, man? We're breaking through today, brother. Go ahead. Finish your frame.
Yeah.
Finish your frame.
So we teed it up this morning. We really teed it up for people, and we prepared our minds to really not only broadcast out this segment and what the week's going to be with the breakthrough and the shifts in people's mindsets and people's bodies, and then ultimately in their spirit. But what we also did was we also set ourselves up so that we can translate it. We pulled down all of the people that have been asking for a breakthrough, that have been praying for help, that are looking for a solution. We are pulling down all those prayers. And now the prayers themselves, or the people that are speaking it out into the universe or praying over something, we may not know your name. Your name may not come to our mind. We will recognize you when you show up, though. So it's crazy. Don't be weirded out. Like, who is this guy? Like, why does he acting like he knows what I'm doing and who I am? And we hear you, okay? We hear you. We may not know your name, but we will recognize you in your prayer when you show up. And that's what Aaron and I have been doing this morning, is really getting our minds right. And now you're getting into a training program, and you're definitely going to break through something in there, especially when you have the energy between you and your brother and how you guys play off each other that way. So I know you're going to break through something, and tomorrow you're going to be like, oh, why why'd I do that? So
yeah,
Aaron, there's
great.
In putting it all together and hearing how it affects you and where you go with it, Tony Robbins brought up a great point today. He brought up the point of, if people are looking to have a breakthrough, most of the time they're talking about something so superficial in general, that's usually why it doesn't happen. They're not getting deep enough. We spoke about last week how we have to push down our goals, push down our needs, push down everything that we desire and what we deserve from our minds into our hearts. Our minds are not our own. Our hearts, and when we come from there, when we come from source, it is our own. It has our signature on it. It's our energy signature. And so if we really get specific and look through an area that we want to have a breakthrough in, that we know our family needs us to have a breakthrough in, then we will achieve it. And to do that, he said there's 3 S's involved. And he started off with the one that most people look for. It's the third one, but it happens to be the one that most people look for first. And that's strategy. People look for a strategy. Okay, if I'm going to have a breakthrough and I'm going to take steps forward in order to achieve something in my life, then I need an effective strategy. I either need to look at what I'm doing and realize why it's not working, or drop it all together and pick a new one. Then he talked about story. And he said, what story are you telling yourself? How are you approaching the information you're gathering from the current strategy? Because that's probably holding you back as well. And then the last one, the most important one, they're all important, but this one's the most important, state. What state are you in order to achieve this breakthrough? When you're taking your steps, what state are you in? We know the 5 to thrive. We know we can control that. We know that energy is the signature that we need to have in order to maximize and leverage the law of attraction, which is where everything comes back to. And so when you hear that, Aaron, and when you hear that there's only 3 S's in order to create a breakthrough, and we have an abundance, unlimited amount of breakthroughs we can have on a daily basis, where does that take you?
So after I listened to that recording, Keith, it really hit me on how many people are so lost within their own story. And I had brought up a point a while back in talking about, who's the main character in your story? Is it you, or are you a supporting cast member? And so a lot of times we get caught up in really looking at the motion picture and saying, wow, have I let the main character nominate themselves versus me stepping into that role? And when we start talking about the story that we're telling ourselves, a lot of times it is, I've been there, but I've lost that opportunity, or I'll never have that happen to me, or I've never achieved anything that significant, so therefore I don't deserve anything that significant. So when we're talking about making that shift, it may be something so vague, as Tony talked about, right? And your strategy may be so vague in what you want, you're getting exactly that. Right? You're getting exactly that. But the thing that you're actually desiring is so much more detailed. It has so much more significance. It has such a bigger story to it than what you've been telling yourself for a long time. And so that's one thing that I've been working on, Keith, is really defining the way that I tell the story. Not the story itself, because again, the story will change. So it's not my job to justify this story. It's how the story is being told. And so I'm doing it with enthusiasm. I'm doing it with intention. I'm doing it from my heart, knowing that has no limits. Whereas my mind has nothing but limitation to it. It has justification to it, definition to it. Therefore, it's going to allow the main character to be nominating themselves versus me stepping into the role. And so it's been huge for me. And that shift that's been happening and really allowing myself to live in abundance. And I remember the day that I used to walk into a restaurant and first look at the price before I determined what I wanted to eat.
Me too.
And it wasn't a shift in how much money I made. It was a shift in what I think I believe I deserve, right? But I think I believe. And so as I started to shift that transition, now I'm realizing, holy smokes, I can do that with everything in my life. Choose what I want and worry about how to get it later. Just choose it and believe you deserve it. And start telling the story as if you are the main character. You are Superman. And everything that you encounter is a supporting cast member. It's not there to take over your role. And so many people give that baton so easily. And so it's not a baton to be given. This isn't a relay race, people. Right? You are, right? So choose that you are going to be the main character and go into strategy with the mindset and belief that you deserve this strategy to work. Not that it will work or not, because the belief is the only thing that really makes a difference, right? The strategy can always be the strategy. That's the simplicity of it, right? The work is going to be where you believe. So that's been my biggest shift, Keith. And after listening to that, it really hit me.
I mean, we could end the broadcast right there, and that would be a week's worth of information. Damn. That's why I love it. It's gonna catch somebody deeper than the next person. Every time you tell it, every time you share it, hit somebody deeper, and the deeper you go is the closer you get to source, and the more
clarity, man.
Exactly, it's clarity. I love that.
So today, what set me off was I allowed myself to sleep this morning. I gave myself that time, right? I said, you deserve to sleep this morning. right? You're going to give the people what they need at noon. So allow yourself to sleep and rest, right? You're going to hit the gym mid-morning, right? To see a different audience, to create a different environment, to see that shift happen, right? Shake it up a little bit, shake the globe up. And then I read my devotional. My devotional Keith said, be yourself. Be your authentic self. And I read that. I read it twice. And in both my devotionals, it said the same thing. It just framed it a little differently. And so many times we go back to that main story, right? I mean, that main character in the story. And it just hit me. So then you sent me that video with Tony Robbins. We talked a little bit this morning. I had a transformation in the audience, right? As I'm out here playing Pokemon Go, man, it was crazy. And I'll tell you about that conversation. But it was just amazing as I just started to see more clarity. It's like, you know what? So many people don't believe that they are worth it. They've given that baton off. And so I'm so happy we did this broadcast, because now someone can release that justification. They can release that definition of who they are and just say, I'm being me today. I'm going to be the best authentic me today, and I'm not going to let anybody change that. I'm not even going to change that. I'm going to define who I am by my actions, not my thoughts.
Yes, I love that. And by your feelings. So let your state define it, right? So I love the fact that you just elaborated on that, because before that, I wasn't sure what else could be translated at that point, because what you said was so profound. And I remember a time when I would not look forward to certain parts of my day or certain days of the week. And the breakthrough for me was knowing that I could make the rules, right? So now I always wanted to make the rules. I never liked rules because they forced me to do things. So we've talked about that before. So not only can I make the rules, everyone has their own rules that they can make. It's right. You also can create your own job description, even if you're going to work and it's not your dream job yet. You can still be the best version of you. You can be your dream version in that job. You get to recreate the job description. So take the one they give you and then recreate it inside of that in order to make your resume look exactly how you want it when you leave this planet. Create your resume every single day. And so you could say that to this point, and it doesn't make one job more important than another, but let's say that you're a manager and you manage a large medical firm, right? So you know you have certain things, certain certifications, things that you have to do. So you have that job description. But on your resume, it may say manager at so-and-so medical. And underneath it is that's the important part, is what's going to be said underneath it. How did you do it? Who were you when you did it? Right? Knowing who you were when you did it and why. And then talk about the how. Because most people look at that label, look at that badge, and they give you a certain amount of credit for it. But that's not you. You're not that person. If you're listening to this broadcast, you make the rules and you create the job description. And what will happen is you will ultimately attract the position that will serve you and allow you to serve others in the way that they deserve, because it's the law of attraction. It has to happen. It's like your nails growing, your hair growing, gravity. There's so many things that are supposed to happen that we let happen. For some reason, the rules, our job description, the way we feel, all of a sudden, we don't take that advantage. We don't leverage it. And that's really what we're looking to do when we create this breakthrough. So, Aaron, one area that I'm looking for a breakthrough in is the ability to multitask with laser precision this week. So I will be able to act on my feelings in order to create feelings, in order to influence someone else to an extent that they never thought possible or gave themselves permission to be influenced in the past. It's my laser precision that I will multitask and be able to do that, because I know that there are things that can be done better and there can be done more of in the amount of time I give myself in a day to do them, and they weren't getting done to the full extent. So in order to do that, and the reason why I'm most looking forward to that breakthrough in order to influence others, is so that I can create more abundance, not only for myself, but for others too. So allow them to experience the same abundance and prosperity that I am, because it's believers. So identifying more and more believers on a daily basis. So by doing that, I'm going to be able to identify more and more believers on a daily basis. People that have it, they're right there, they're hungry, they're starving for it, they're ready to do the work, they're praying for it, and the only thing we haven't done is met yet.
You know, it's crazy, Keith, you say that, right? So I'm sitting there, and after we got off the phone, I had a conversation, and then I got a message from a friend of mine who plays Pokemon, right? So he goes, "Hey, listen, can you meet me at this gym? We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna battle. You know, we're gonna battle this Pokemon.
Come on,
right?
man.
We need a good 9-10 people to play, right? To be able to beat.
That's awesome.
Yo, Keith, I'm telling you right now, bro. I found a good group of people that really need what we have, right? And it's interesting how that works. But anyway, after we played the game, I asked the guy. I said, you know, here it is, 10:30 in the morning. What do you do for work? I said, what are you doing for work, right? He goes, actually, I'm a stay-at-home dad. He goes, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I've been looking for work, but I haven't found anything that fits me. I said, really? I said, well, what would you want to do? And we started having a conversation. And so my breakthrough, Keith, all right, is being able to clearly translate where someone is to where they could go. Because I know that if I can clearly help them to see that I will help them bring through those breakthroughs as well. And so what he had said is I said, listen, he says, I'm willing to do the work. Look who I found. Come here. Look who just walked back in.
Oh!
Look who it is.
What happened at 10:30? What happened at 10:30?
Well, no, he had to go get his knee brace because he's about to play some ball.
Oh, that's right. You're balling now. I didn't see you dunk the other day.
Yeah, I'm about to go dunk on somebody now. Show Aaron how it's done.
Yo, so lift weights. Yo, it's lift weights, it's Pokemon, and basketball.
Yep. Basketball.
Boom. Let me go in before I miss my game.
And Mike Jones.
So, yeah, what up, Mike? So right after that conversation, right, the guy goes like this, Keith, and this was the moment that I realized that I had found my breakthrough this week, right, at that translation. The guy looks at me. He goes, what is the requirement? He goes, what do you do for work? He goes, because I keep finding you at Pokestops, right? Either you with your son or you by yourself out on these beautiful days. He goes, what do you do for work? It may be in the afternoon, it may be in the morning. And I said, I find creative ways to find people to talk to about their goals and where they are now and how close they are to meeting them.
Wow.
And I found a way to make money doing that. He goes, what does that require? I said, talking to people. I said, can you talk to people? Are you a shy guy? He goes, no, I'm not shy. But if I know that my job is to talk to people, then I'm going to talk to as many people as possible.
Wow.
So you want to talk about clarity. There I was able to help him to realize what he's been looking for was a way that he can play his game, have his fun, have his freedom, and he says, I'm a stay-at-home dad, and I don't want that to end. My son right now is with his grandmother, which allowed me to be out playing this game right now. He goes, but I would like to do more of that, not having to go back and telling the boss that if my wife, because his wife does something with music, he said, if my wife has to do something and I have to tell my boss that I have to reschedule or I have to be that inconsistent at work, I would feel that I would not be giving him 100%. So I don't want to get a job that's going to require me to be at a certain time and day if I know right now I don't have that type of schedule. So I'm looking for something that's more flexible.
Wow.
And so here I am playing this game, and I've been able to find someone who's been looking for what it is that I do by helping people become clearer on what they want to go do and how they're going to get there and how close they are right now. So my breakthrough today, Keith, is really, and this week, is really to be able to be translating what that means. And as the sun brings more and more sunny days, I mean, it's just incredible how it's going to allow me to be out there and really making a different dictionary or different thesaurus or whatever you want to do that translates your words to help them to have some more clarity, man. So that's where it's at, brother. And it's been crazy. So I'm excited to get back out there in the afternoon with my son and go play some games, man, because the people are out there. They're out there looking for a better way. And it's amazing that we found this way. And I told Trevor earlier, as he was leaving to go to his knee brace, and I'm sitting at the Y, I said, who wouldn't want the freedom lifestyle? Who wouldn't want that? Why haven't people decided that they are worth the freedom and that they don't have to, they get to, and if you don't get to, then change. That's it. It's that simple. But if you keep telling yourself the same story, if you keep giving up the main character role to something or someone else, you will never be the star of the show. And you will just resent everything that you've ever played in because you've never been able to step up to be the main character. So decide today that you want to have a breakthrough, that you want to be the main character. And if you're not getting what you like to get, then change it. Change your mindset, and in the pockets of your time, build so that you can receive more in your life because you seek joy and happiness. And that's been your birthright from jump.
Ooh, yes. Yes, learn how to fly on the way down. So for all those people that joined us today, the likes, the loves, the comments, thank you. This will live on. This message will be shared a ton, I can already tell. Right from the get-go, we went right in. A lot of mics dropped, a lot of nuggets delivered. We will see you the same time, same place, tomorrow at In the Tank Live with Aaron Hairston and Keith Deyo. Peace.
Let's go, people.